Hello. Hey, this is David Weber, and I was just going to show everybody a quick function that I know has been in NDS for quite a while. I just haven't ever used it. So I was going to show some of the functions that kind of pop up from time to time that are good to know they're there. I took this little chart out, weather map of the portion of the country out there where this farm is located. Got a little rain on July 4th, June 4th. And what we'd had is basically hot weather since then. It really started kicking in here, getting some 98, 100-degree days with a lot of south wind. Really some sticky situations. So we had for about 8 weeks of really dry, started getting 100 degrees, 107, 102 here. It shows that we got rain here, but it didn't amount to more than 2/10. So we had some real hot problems and real drought conditions there. So we went and sampled our Sudan hay, and we noticed that we took 3 samples, went and started looking. Our average of those samples was a record level I've never seen. So we can open up any of these forages. So we opened up Sudan hay here. We can see here's our nutrient level, our constant calculations, quick data entry area. Here's a mycotoxin area and a nitrate area. Let's look at the nitrate area right now. The sample of nitrate, NO3 on a dry matter basis for these 3 samples, like I said, was a record level I've never seen before. So this is a composite of the 3 samples. So we stick it in. If we look, anything over 17.6 parts per million is basically, potentially toxic, do not feed. So what we need to do is punch that in here, parts per million, go ahead and save the nitrate here. Now, if I wanted to assume this was a regional sample, I could choose some more farms in that area to use any of the Sudan hay that's labeled here would pull this amount in. And we'll look at that in a different function, but I'm just going to go ahead and save the nitrates here. Save that. It'll take me back to the diet. Let me just close that sample, close this, and then I don't have any of the other samples tested for nitrate at this time, but I can go to feed details, the nitrate evaluator, and it will tell me, here's my source of nitrates. Now, we sampled these. We knew we're going to have problems. We have no new forages right now that we're feeding, but by goodness, we're going to go ahead and sample all of them. After some considerations, we thought, hey, let's just check the TMR that we're feeding and we'll see what the background level is. But any of these that are grown in drought stress times, we will go, this is basically going to be a triticale hay. So we'll test it. We'll test all these wet feeds too, or, as we get going, and we'll see what the accumulation is here. But feeding 1.3 or 1.1 pounds of dry matter of this hay, the intake grams per 100 pounds of body weight, we're going to be at 2.12, which should be generally safe under all conditions. So what we'll do is we're going to monitor this. We're going to sample more feeds and get an accumulation of all these feeds as their nitrate contribution and kind of watch our totals. But a neat function within NDS that we can see. Now, if we were looking about mycotoxins, you can do the same thing by simply opening up that feed, sampling individual feeds, and I could put my nitrates in here for this corn silage, and we'll do that later. But showing just another function, you can go into the mycotoxin evaluator and put in the mycotoxins that you find within that corn silage that you're feeding. Again, you would enter those here, parts per billion, and then save these. But I also have the ability to use those in a regional kind of method. If this corn silage was representative of all these samples, I could go ahead and do that. And you could save your mycotoxin here. And then what you can do is just go to feed details and use the mycotoxin evaluator to look at the cumulative amounts here and look at those levels seen in here. So those are some cool functions in NDS that I knew were there. We haven't ever used them as of late, but now with the real push on mycotoxins and nitrates coming into this dry weather period that we've had, drought conditions out here in the West, we're going to be using them, and I just thought I'd share that with you. So again, thanks for your time. Using the nitrate and the mycotoxin evaluator within NDS. Thanks.